test on one day.
Hello to all our viewers and welcome back to another session of Waadaplaya. Today is going to be the third day of the fourth test in Motera. Unexpectedly, we've moved on from the second day and we're into the third day today, but unfortunately the match ends right away. England were not expected to last at least 4 days if I'm not wrong, but somehow they scraped through the third day and they are losing the series 3-1, and India moving to the WTC final against New Zealand at Lords. So to discuss this further with me, I have two of my fellow Waadaplaya members, Suman and Vishak. 3 days, was it that bad a pitch again? Or is it just England not doing well enough?
Yeah, I think England didn't bat well. They had the advantage first by winning the toss first. They should have done better in the first innings. But in the second innings, I think they didn't stand much of a chance with the ball spinning. But if they had got a good score in the first innings, it could have been a much better thing. And I think England also had their chances when they reduced India to 145 for 6.
Yeah, let's have a look at few numbers before we move further. Second innings, we did well to score 365 with Washi just missing out on the ton, and then England bowled out for 135. Suman, your thoughts on those?
Teamwork display from India, from starting the first innings, bowling them out for 205. I think that set the test match nicely. India lower order has been contributing significantly well in all the series. Our top order, except Rohit Sharma, there was nobody who crossed even 30 runs, which is Jinx, Pujara, and Shubman Gill. Rishabh, Pant, and then Washington Sundar contributions, and then Ashwin, for that matter of fact, is part of top 5 scorers in the series as well. That explains India's middle order has come through when it is really needed. From bowling perspective, Axar and Ashwin are world class, but England looked completely off the. I don't think they wanted to bat. They looked very disinterested, like Johnny West. I mentioned that on day one. It shocks me why is he in the 11. First ball, he plays a shot when he knows that it is crowded. I think I feel for Joe Root. His team, he's been leading well. He started off the series well, but he had very little support structure, unfortunately. But India all the way through, they capitalized on every single opportunity. No missed chances. Every catch which came their way, they took. Second innings, Axar and Ashwin all 10 wickets. I've never seen that in India series. This is the first time I've seen 2 test bowlers just clearing up somebody. So all in all, fantastic performance by England.
So it was a complete dominance by the Indian spinners. And I think England didn't stand a chance against such quality bowling. For me, Axar Patel was the find of the series. Had he played the first series, I think the series scoreline would have been much different and been 4-0, I guess. Shahbaz Nadeem, I think we expected a lot from him in the first test, and which didn't happen. Had Axar Patel played that, it would have been a different series. But having said that, I think the scoreline 3-1 doesn't reflect the actual... I think the series was much closer than that. England had their moments.
I think the difference basically is, if you look at the earlier 2000s, how India had the lineup. Your batting ends at number 7. And then you have the proper bowlers who are considered as the tail-enders. Now you look at 7, 8, and 9, you've got Ashwin, you've got Axar and Washi, who actually play in the top order in the domestic teams. Washi and Ashwin are used to opening for Tamil Nadu. Axar bats at 5 or 6 in domestic. Actually, Lindens are batting to number 8 and 9, which is actually the difference I feel between the previous test teams and what we have right now. But as far as England are concerned, I feel it's time for them to move on from Bairstow. 6 ducks in the last 9 test innings against India. We would love to see him in the team when we go there in June. Definitely feel for Dan Lawrence. He had a couple of good innings in this test match. They need to show faith in the youngsters. They've absolutely crushed out Dombies.
I think he was pretty impressive in the first test. They should have continued with him. Like by ousting him from the 11, his confidence was completely shattered. And suddenly he was brought into this test match. He looked like a completely different bowler, like how he was, rather than how he was in the first test. I agree, he bowled a few full tosses and maybe in the second innings. But he did bowl well in that match, and he was the one who wreaked havoc for India in the first innings. So they should have actually continued with him. And definitely, I think the rotation policies, whatever they followed, did not help them. They should have, if they had really concentrated on the series, they should have gone with a proper 11. Like for all the 4 matches, their focus should have been on that.
He's a decent bowler. Arjuna Ranatunga, me and Sanjay were laughing last night, exchanging few things about what Ranatunga was saying after the Sri Lanka series for England. I didn't see the Sri Lanka England series, but I thought Jack Leach and Dom Bess came out winners and they bowled really well. But then when I saw what Arjuna said, saying that if we give Sanath Jayasuriya and Aravinda 1 week of
Yeah.
practice and give these two spinners, they will eat them for breakfast. I was laughing, saying he's out of his mind, but seeing Dom Bess this series, I see the point of Arjuna Ranatunga. Vishak is right, not giving confidence of whether he's in the 11 or no, also probably confused him, benefit of doubt. But Indian batters were too good. This morning, you've seen Washington Sundar hitting him for a six in the first over of a day. Kind of explains the confidence level Dom Bess is in. England have a lot of work to do from a test cricket point of view. If they compete with top class teams, I think their rotation policy needs to be given a strong thought.
Talking about Washington, social media literally poured their hearts out for him. 96, stranded on 96, second 90 in his short career. Karan Mehta, Dinesh Karthik, Ajay PK, Purur Modi, everybody were, just saying he deserved a ton.
Ajay PK would have seen that even Virat Kohli would have got 100. I mean, he's RCB, so Ajay PK feels for every RCB player.
Yeah, like Dinesh Karthik summed it up completely. He said he was about to type Washington Sundar. He couldn't do it. Actually, that run out was a little unnecessary. Like if these two had continued a little bit, he could have got to his 100. Maybe you never know. Axar Patel could also played a better, longer innings, and we could have decimated. Yeah, at the end of the day, we decimated them. That's a different case. But we could have got a better lead, and maybe the match would have gone into the fourth day in that case.
Any top class cricketer who represents the country will take 96 no doubt, winning the series and being part of the 11. I think that's the least they could ask for. So Harsha Bogle said, Anil Jain said, I think centuries will come, but how many times will you contribute to a win is what you will remember eventually. But nonetheless, unfortunate. Ishant Sharma and Siraj probably could have done a little better job in holding up a couple of balls.
I think there's where the game awareness comes into picture. The previous deliveries, there was a long one in place. And I think Axar just misjudged that for the last delivery as well, there was a long one. But in fact, it was actually in mid-on. So I think there was the misjudgment out there. Literally have now 4 spinning all-rounders with us. Once Jaddu is back, Jaddu is going to walk into the team. Ashwin is definitely there. Axar and Washington, 4 good spinning all-rounders. I think this is the first time we're ever going to see such a good squad bench strength as well.
Yeah, we shouldn't forget Hardik Pandya as well. Once he starts bowling, he will also he'll be a seam bowling all-rounder, and we have a good bunch of all-rounders currently in the team. So, which is a good sign for Indian cricket. So that we have a lot of batsmen now who can bowl, vice versa. So also helps us in the long run when we go overseas. Usually when we go overseas, we see that our tail gets blasted just like that. So that wouldn't happen going forward, I guess, with this kind of a batting lineup.
So Vishak, do you support Mumbai Indians or RCB? Who are you?
It is RCB. I was a Mumbai Indians supporter since 2013. And then, that's when I bought the jersey. So I still have it.
Just making sure we are on the record by asking the question because IPL starts soon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think I should buy an RCB jersey soon to clarify every doubt.
Anyway, the reason for him supporting Mumbai Indians previously will come at the end of the show. So let's wait for that. Well, man of the match, Rishabh Pant. Any surprises?
No brainer. Absolutely changed the complexion of the game in 60 minutes of the test match. That's truly a match winner material and thoroughly deserving man of the match. Ravi Shastri mentioned at the end of the conference also, there were a couple of advices given to him, work on your fitness and then work on your keeping. If you take care of both, credit to him, he's done it. And I was telling Abhinesh Warrior, rewind back to the first touring match in Sydney when India started in Australia. He scored a similar century. Rishabh Pant scored a similar century versus Australia A in Sydney. He tonked them all over the place, and it probably was 100 in less than 100 balls, if I'm not wrong. 4s and 6s all over. But he definitely earned me to become his fan in the past 6 months or so. I was not a big fan until last year because he potentially was wasting chances. But I think he's learning, he's capitalizing, and he gives Virender Sehwag kind of kick whenever he comes in place. So as long as he continues to contribute, he's a fantastic addition to all 3 formats of India.
Yeah, I think previously he was a blind hitter who used to go after the bowling. Now he gauges the bowling. He settles himself down. He sees if he can go after the bowling, he goes after, and he plays a measured innings now rather than blindly hitting. Keeping has improved a lot. The way he kept in the last two tests on the turning tracks says it a lot. He has improved his fitness and he kept really well. Some of the catches he took were really outstanding. He will keep Saha out of the team for quite a while if he performs like this.
Man of the series, Avichandran Ashwin, a star with the ball, a star with the bat, a star with his podcast, a star everywhere. Beats Anil Kumble's record in near future.
He was truly a star in this series. Even in the first test, he was the only bowler who looked like taking wickets, and he didn't stop. And he gave a complete all-round performance in this series. So he was deservingly the man of the series. But maybe if Axar had played the first test, it would have been slightly different. He has picked 27 wickets in 3 matches. So going by the record, if you see the stats, maybe Axar would have got more wickets than Ashwin in the series. But Ashwin, since he delivered an all-round performance, I think Axar was it was a pretty close thing. But Ashwin deserved the man of the series at the end of the day. Yeah, if he keeps the performance going, and if he even performs overseas, I think he has a very good chance of breaking Anil Kumble's record.
Yeah, match winner, 100% deserves the man of the series. Not sure about going past the Kumble record because looks like he told plenty of times that when he gets closer to Kumble record, he's going to retire. Me and Vishak spoke about it, I think, at the start of the series, if I'm not wrong, in one of the day reviews. When he took first fifer, Vishak said that by the end of the series, he'll definitely go past 5 fifers. And we said that if he does that, India definitely is going to win the series. And clearly that happened. He's making use of the form he's in, top class performance, batting, bowling, his professional approach, his support structure to the team. I think in Australia, he struggled a little bit with fitness also in Sydney Test match. So commitment-wise, fantastic player to have in the team.
60 wickets for both spinners, put together Ashwin and Axar. England seem to be in complete disarray. Where do they go from here? Suman?
They should go to Michael Vaughan and ask what to do from here because I think Michael Vaughan seems like he knows what to do with the pitches. He seems like all the advice. He comes on Craig Buzz and gives a lot of gyan to all the Indian viewers. So maybe he should spend a little time and give gyan to England viewers and England batting. That's what I think.
There's a funny banter from Bharat Army out there. They said post our innings, did someone do something with the pitch? Because it seems to have changed completely differently. And it was directed to Michael Vaughan, if I'm not wrong. I hope Michael Vaughan is watching that, which is the World Test Championship. We have topped the league here, and we are going to be facing New Zealand.
Completely deserving. I think we dominated the world, at least apart from the New Zealand league, I think we dominated the complete World Test Championship. So India are completely deserving to go into this thing. And I think we also performed well overseas in Australia, where we went and won the series there. So like equally, we played well overseas as well as in home. So I think if you see New Zealand, they won only at home and they're at the second place. I think India are completely deserving.
Do you like this particular championship structure, or do you see it continuing?
I think it will continue. I think COVID did not help the cause because of COVID. A lot of series got cancelled. Otherwise, there was a clear format, clear structure. Unless all teams get full opportunity of playing full series, it is doubtful. Again, Sanjay Dubey had a opinion that not all team might be a big fan of World Test Championship, but if he gets back to full 100% of cricket, I don't see why not keep the Test Championship alive. The Headingley Test match when Ben Stokes, I think if Australia would have won that Test match and not used that DRS, New Zealand would have been third and Australia would have been second. Even one game can decide the Test Championship. In my opinion, we should continue as long as all the teams get opportunity to do it. That's another incentive for teams to keep the Test cricket alive.
Do you guys see the lower ranked teams getting enough chances with this World Test Championship?
And that's where I think there should be a small tweak in this, because some of the teams, right, they don't get to play enough. They play 6 series, but it's not like they get to play enough matches. I think all the teams, all the 9 teams should play equal number of matches rather than counting on just the series, which will give them equal opportunities for the points. So, see here, if you see that a team like Bangladesh will play only 12 test matches in 6 series. Whereas like someone like India or England, they play up to 30 matches. So which is not fair actually, in my opinion. So like all teams should kind of play almost equal number of test matches so that they get the equal opportunities to qualify.
It'll be interesting where it will happen. There is a lot of talk about is it Southampton or is it Lords? It will depend. And I was under the impression that probably it's a three-match series, but I only learned today that it is only one game. And Sandeep Jaiswal mentioned that New Zealand goes before India to England to play test matches there, so they definitely will have a benefit of acclimatizing to the conditions per se. So it will test both the teams, and New Zealand are another world-class team. It'll be a true test, and that's why it's called final. Let's see if India is good enough to go all the way through.
Would you guys have preferred a single test or a three-test series, maybe just to test out the finalists?
Because these two have topped the table, right? I think proper test series would have been better, because just one test match does not depend and does not decide like who was the best. It's just that, see, these are two world class sides, and both the teams have world class players like Williamson, Kohli, Boult. We have world class bowlers, Boult, Bumrah. So it'll be an evenly matched contest. If a three-match series or something is held, it would be an evenly matched contest, I feel, rather than just a one test match, which is little unfair.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time of the series, right? There are going to be learning. 2-year tournament, it is better to play a series to decide the winner. Unlike T20 or 50 or World Cup, we know it gets over in a month or so. So I understand having 3 games will be an overkill, but something like this should at least have 3 test match series, if not 5.
And what a day to do this. 50 sunny years. Today, exactly in 1971, was the day Mr. Sunil Gavaskar made his debut. He's been the original Little Master for years together with Sachin following his footsteps. And you can see the tribute which Sachin himself paid to Sunil sir today.
He's a great batsman. You must be seeing all the pictures on the screen. No helmet, playing in those days, facing West Indies bowlers who are already scary in any format of the game, and scoring so many runs is not easy. That shows the character. He's an absolute gem of a cricketing brain. He supported India cricket for many years to come. His captaincy, yeah, not a great stint, but I think whatever contributions, we spoke to Vijay Lokpalli as well. We spoke to Surinder Khanna sir in our show, and all of them have seen him play. I have not seen him play, but definitely a champion at his sport. And the best thing I will remember, Star Sports or some media channel has been floating around his thoughts around pitch and what do England big stars think about pitch. And he simply said, why are we even giving importance to these people? We should just say chal foot. And I think he's referencing to Michael Vaughan. So yeah, he's a great character to have in the game, and clearly he got facilitated by BCCI. He still commentates. Amazing cricket brain and great contributor to Indian cricket.
Is a legend of the game. Like many of the current players, even Sachin Tendulkar got inspired to cricket and aspired to reach great heights because of this great man, the original Little Master. And his records speak for himself. Like when he retired, he had all the records, including that 36 not out of 164 balls or something. So the first man to reach 10,000 runs, and like he had the most centuries, 34 centuries in Test cricket. Like the next Little Master, Sachin broke his records. Not to forget, he debuted on 6th March of 1971 and he scored his 10,000th run on 7th of March 1987, which is just tomorrow. Advance congratulations for him on that as well.
Celebrations all the days, for Sunil Gavaskar sir. Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. So Vishak, would you care to explain why you were supporting Mumbai Indians? I think it's in this particular slide.
It's mainly because of Sachin Tendulkar. There's no other reason. I'm a hardcore Sachin Tendulkar fan, and it was great watching him bat with Virendra Sehwag again. The way they decimated the Sri Lankan attack. They just chased the runs, 118 runs in 10 overs. Yeah, obviously it was Virendra Sehwag who went after the bowling, but Sachin just... I saw once... hook shot played by Sachin. It just reminded me of his old cricketing days. Fun watching him bat any day. We would pay any amount to watch him bat.
Veeru simply describes it as Parampara, Pratishtha and Anushasan, just like Amitabh Bachchan used to do it. Suman, Do you enjoy this particular series, road safety series?
Most definitely, Brian Lara, Sachin playing back again. I think those two were the clear batting heroes when I was growing up. Like I can never forget both of them, right and left-hander, world class. Yeah, why not? I mean, even in England, Kevin Peterson and Monty Panessa are pretty excited looking at their tweets about getting to play alongside the greats. Last time there was a superstar series, I think, here in America. They had it in New York. I couldn't get
Correct.
tickets to go for that. Hopefully next time when they come. Yeah, I've not been following on the television, but I've been looking at all the tweets and pictures coming through. Still showing that they are fit, which is fantastic.
Absolutely. You can also see the Pathan brothers playing back again in the blue. West Indies versus Sri Lanka, the second T20I. Complete reversal of fortunes, Suman.
Oh yeah, love it. Absolutely. I think the series is coming along pretty nicely because the first game was Pollard show. In 6 balls, he completely made the game himself. But Sri Lanka coming back and showing that character of winning the game. Second game yesterday, it was a fantastic display of spin bowling. Akila and Hasranga were bowling as like Rashid Khan and Chahal. Complete domination on spin bowling. Some of the balls were unplayable. Like Fabian Allen looked like Ollie Pope yesterday in some of the balls when he was playing. So kudos to Sri Lanka, 2-1 each, and looking forward for the third T20 international.
It's funny how the West Indies pitches have changed from seamer friendly to spin attacks dominating the opposition. Vishak, your thoughts on one into Hasaranga?
Yeah, he's a great prospect for Sri Lankan team. He has come through the ranks pretty well, right from the under 19 cricket. He's also a very good bat as well. I think he's a very good prospect for the Sri Lankan cricket in the long term. If you see, he struggled a little bit in South Africa. He didn't perform that well. He was pretty expensive. That's where I think how he adapts is what we will have to see, and how he improves his game on such conditions.
Were you all surprised that he wasn't picked in the IPL auction?
I was only up until when I saw him yesterday. Not on the day of IPL auction that I was surprised because I did not know how good a player was he. But yesterday when I saw him bowl and realized that he was part of the auction, I was. But then there is also a lot of news that in the month of April, his availability is a big question mark. So probably that's one of the reasons why teams did not go. But
Thank you, guys. It was one hell of a day yesterday. India beating England, Sri Lanka, getting back at West Indies, and of course the road safety series, which is going to continue throughout this month. So it was wonderful talking to you guys. It was a great test series. We have wrapped it up pretty well. Looking forward to the ODI and T20 series. Before we wind up, your thoughts on limited over series?
the road series will be much closer than test. Couple of reasons. One, there will be new players from England, new players from India, relatively new players from India. So they'll be fresh into the bubble. So there'll be new energy. And second, pure specialist point of view, I think both teams have world-class players. So it will be a close game compared to test series.
England are getting their like white ball specialists back, like Ian Morgan, Josh Butler, and all these people back. So I think England, start favorites at least in the white ball format, but it will be a closely fought series. Matches being held in Ahmedabad, I think they should focus on more sporting pitches than the spinning pitches for at least the limited over series.
Purul Modi calls this as England tour of Ahmedabad.
Good. I think Jaisha will be pretty much, a good host for the England guys. Cool. Thank you so much, guys. It was wonderful talking to you both, and hope you guys have enjoyed this particular test series. Looking forward to the limited overs. Like till then, to all our viewers, thank you so much for subscribing and viewing our channel, and please continue doing so. Thank you so much.